This is kind of a random look at some couple of plays that I found from the Bengals Raiders regular season game in 2021. Just some things to illustrate how Cincinnati's offense is able to attack the boundary, specifically against these like nickel defenses that the Raiders throw at them in these two situations. I believe both of these are touchdown plays. Well, I know the second one is. The Bengals did a nice job of manipulating the Raiders in multiple situations in this game, and these plays do kind of paint a poor picture of Jonathan Abrams' skills. He's lined up right over here. There's a bunch formation into the boundary over here by Cincinnati. There's another receiver who's off screen. He's going to go in motion. I believe it's T. Higgins. Really cool play, if you ask me. They're going to take the X, and I call this X counter or Y counter or F counter, whatever, whoever the guy is that's leading from the other side to block. So let's let it run a little bit and let you guys check it out. Again, it kind of paints a negative picture of Jonathan Abrams from the context of both of these plays. Going to bring this back, just go over a couple of things. So the motion coming through is getting this inside linebacker 42 to move this direction, and sometimes teams are just in the NFL specifically are just too they're responding to the eye candy too much. And even in the case of Abrams, who is the strong safety, typically out of their base personnel, they would drop him down to the field, and KJ Wright would be the Sam. In this case, the Sam is off the field. They've got the nickel on the field, number 39, who's a pretty good football player. But in any case, this motion brings this inside linebacker all the way over here. And first of all, I love the steps by the running back and the timing with Burrow turning. He's a touch late in terms of faking to the guy in motion, faking the jet sweep here. But they've accomplished their task because he steps in. So he's inside one now, and this is a tight split. So that's one of the things that teams forget sometimes when you get a bunch formation or three receivers tight, and then one of them motions away. You're locked in here. You can be pinned down easily. Now he pins himself on this, and this is Abrams. Not only does he pin himself, but the inside backer who's responding with the motion slips and falls into the other inside backer, and you see you've got no second level, play here, inside out play here at all. And once the X gets out in front, it's over. It's over. Joe Mixon is able to cut this upfield pretty easily. The only guy to beat is the free safety, who's typically unblocked coming from middle of the field alignment right here. Abrams and I think Carl Nassib, I might be mispronouncing his name, are both in the same gap essentially. We'll show you how they ended up there. Tight ends, it's not like the tight end's taking a reach step that Nassib, responds to. Tight end steps in. Nassib actually reaches himself and ends up inside the C gap. And then 24, Abram, also ends up inside the C gap. Really poor defense into the boundary, poor alignment, and poor response, to the run threat. Now, but Cincinnati's design is wonderful here, with the back stepping with the motion initially. Hopefully this video is running smooth as I run this back some. He's stepping with the motion, getting all the, and KJ Wright is on the field, by the way. I just noticed that. I feel stupid. But he's not playing Sam necessarily. He's playing Mike or weak side Will. Perfect timing with the X stepping around and getting out in front of Mixon around the edge. Just a beautiful football play down into the red zone. And, the ref gives a signal that's a touchdown here. I'm not sure whether it was reviewed or not. Perhaps it was reviewed and it was, ruled to not be a touchdown, but it certainly looks like one there. All right, second play I'm going to show you, and I'm only going to show you two. I run across this stuff watching film. I've been watching stuff of pretty much all AFC offenses, trying to get some content out there throughout the offseason that's focused on AFC offenses because I think the AFC is going to be such a killer next season. And you have this real interesting alignment by the Raiders. 5 guys at the second level in a line. You got 1 DB, which I think is the free safety again, and he's over to the side of the bunch. It's 11 personnel, so you got 1 running back, Mixon, and then this is their guy, obviously, Jamar Chase. So what I think you're going to get is a running back out into the flats, and then he's going to run like a little fade corner or corner fade, whatever you want to call it. Really, really not played well by Abram here at all, as the boundary side safety. Again, the Bengals attacking the boundary, attacking the back side of the formation. They do this a lot with Jamar Chase. On the previous play, Jamar Chase was not on the field. They did it with a run concept. You can see here that the back is going out into the flats, so this corner has to occupy him because they're not playing man. Some teams would take the inside linebacker and they would run with him. Of course, then what does that do? If the inside linebacker vacates that area, then now you could have just a basic slant hit inside here in the hook area. But they don't do that. They're zoning it off. And Abrams' reaction is just really slow. Eyes in the backfield, not defending the route at all. Poor job, poor look for him in the last two plays. Do I think he's that bad of a player? No, I don't. If any Raiders fans watch the video and want to give me a more complete summary or more complete commentary on his season, by all means go ahead. I do know that he had like over 100 tackles, but this is pretty poor if you ask me. Now the Bengals design, though, let's get to some of that. You got the running back out into the flats, and you got this corner flag. That's kind of basic. That's basic. This safety is being threatened by the fact that Chase could pull this route in here, or he could go to the pylon, which is what he does. We know that. The cool aspect of it to me is the number 3 receiver, the outside receiver to the field, Higgins, is still lined up tight, and that's not super tight, but he's 8 yards from the tackle, so I guess he's not lined up as tight as I thought. But he's running a late release under. So what could happen here is if this inside backer releases to go to the flats, or if this is a read by Jamar Chase, which it could be, I don't suspect that it is, but if it's a read and he reads this and he cuts here, then maybe the inside backer plays on the inside of that, and 85 becomes the third option, whereby you got 1, 2, and then 85 coming across into what would be roughly around in this area here to be the third option. Doesn't get that far because Jamar Chase is wide open. Corner gives a great effort even though he kind of falls down. And, obviously a really easy touchdown for Jamar Chase. Untouched, into the boundary, tight split. That video is kind of wonky right there. You'll see it a little better from the end zone angle. Abram really, really doesn't get any depth there at all. He's looking in the backfield, not playing the route at all. But Jamar Chase has such an interesting style. There's times where he looks like he's going to go in, and then he breaks the damn thing out really quickly. You get a good view of Abrams here down into the boundary. Chase is off screen over here, but pretty tightly aligned. And this is the inside backer that I was referencing. If they were in man and the running back ran out there, and maybe the inside backer was responsible for him, he'd run out into the flats. I think what Abram is trying to do here is give Joe Burrow the look that it is man, meaning I got man on him and Chase is being manned up by the backside corner. But the Bengals probably know better at this point that people are not going to be playing man on Jamar Chase like that. Or if they are, then they're going to pay for it. In any case, it's like a cover 2 look, a zone. They do drop a D tackle underneath for this crosser late. It's this guy here. So the crosser late is 85 here, as I mentioned. They do drop 90, into this zone. So maybe the Raiders had a better call here than I suspect. It's only a 3-man rush. There's no pressure. Pretty easy for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to complete that when Abrams plays it as poorly as he did. What's the point of this video? Just showing you some of the interesting things that offenses do, specifically AFC offenses. The only NFC offenses that I'll do really any film study of this offseason will be the Rams and the 49ers. The 49ers specifically because I don't believe they had a top-level talent across the board at all their positions, but they were able to get a lot of things done through the use of the run game or the threat of the run game and the boot off of the stretch stuff that they do. Let me know what you guys think of some of the points I made and if I missed any of the elements. And again, if there's Raiders or Bengals fans that check out the video, if there's something that I missed in terms of Abrams' play overall this year, let me know. I definitely think he's a better football player than I've shown in these two clips here. And certainly the Bengals know what they're doing when they're threatening people to the backside of the formation with Jamar Chase and the first play I showed you as well.